my name is Ben Rollman. I'm with TexLug, and this is my collection of Macrofighters. I chose the name because obviously my own creation worked well with the Microfighter version of the genre, the theme that Lego's put out.
I love the little sign you made for that up there.
This was a last-minute thing too. I was laying in bed going, "That'd be hilarious if I did that." So that was a last week edition kind of thing. So this started out because I got into the Microfighter game a little late. They were a big hit in like 2014, and I noticed that after I started buying, I missed Series 1. I started getting Series 2, and then I saw on Eurobricks and Brothers Brick and stuff that they were mocking their own because Lego wasn't putting them out, right? So I was like, they don't have a Republic Y-Wing, and they don't have a B-Wing, and they don't have an A-Wing. So I was like, I'm going to start doing my own stuff. And also, I couldn't get a hold of the San Diego Comic-Con Slave 1. I was like, I don't have $200. I didn't go to the convention, so I will part it out on Bricklink and get my own stuff. So that's kind of where this all started. And then I decided, you know what, I could do a stream once or twice a week and just design one every time or build one every time. And because it's Star Wars, there's a million ships. So it'd be easy enough to kind of build out content like that where you're just like, I've got something to do every time.
Perfect. And there's how many do you have on display here today?
So I've got 60 here. I did a game earlier in the convention where I hid 30 of them around the convention hall, and I had people do a scavenger hunt, and that was a lot of fun. So I've got 60 here. I've got a few at home that I didn't bring. Some are not mine design. These are all mine. But I do crib some people's designs online just for my own personal kind of display at home. If they have instructions, great, I'll buy them from them. If not, I'll try to reverse engineer from photos. So there's 10 or 15 at home that I didn't bring. So they're all here.
So let's start going through them. You can kind of at least name them one by one, maybe point out some fun parts and kind of techniques you use.
Yeah, sure. So first of all, this is a great collection or a great way to display minifigures if you got like a really nice minifigure and the kind of fun way to do it. So this is obviously kind of a, not super rare, but kind of rare Lando. And obviously he's with the Kessel Run Falcon, which is really close to the store-bought Falcon. I just added the escape pod on the front, changed the colors a little bit. Also, you may not be able to get all of them, but they're all kind of based off, the stands here have something to do with the ship itself. So this would be Kessel, as seen on like Battlefront kind of thing. So all the stands are kind of related to the ship somehow. Most of them, some are just black.
Sort of like a little planet landscape.
Little vignette for the ship, yeah. So Rey's speeder, nothing really there. She's on Nema Outpost. A-Wing, because this is one that's basically like the store-bought version, but the nose is a little shorter because this is a Rebel A-Wing and not a Resistance A-Wing. Next is Home One, which is a Mon Cal cruiser, and it's got a little fleet under there of like a Nebulon, or a Nebulon B, and then a couple GR-75s, I think.
Great, so you created a whole fleet just on the one build.
So I got two of those like that. This one's got some CIS. This is the Lucre Hulk ship, and so it's got some CIS guys under there, some different ships under there to kind of go along with it. I thought that was kind of fun. Let's see, next is AT Hauler, and it's got the little train that has the mountain on it, or the train that was on the mountain in Solo. Then there's a Gungan Bongo, and that was one of my earliest ones. And I like the bubbles on that one, seem to work really well for that setup.
It's very unique. It really stands out among a lot of these here.
The blue boomerang piece is also kind of hard to find, so if you're building this on your own, trade it out for the gray one or whatever, because the blue one's kind of pricey. And then the Night Buzzard, this is the first one that I actually did some box art for. I kind of dabbled in doing box art. Never really did it, and always seems to get a lot of likes from people. They're like, is that a real set? It's like, no, I just threw it in Photoshop and made a box art of it. It's really fun. Let's see, next is, it's a Republic class strike fighter or a strike class fighter, or it's like 9 names, and there was an actual Lego set of it. So this is from the figure, I think is Bastille Shan. She's from an actual Lego set. The coloring's a little different, but I had to really find a planet to put it on. I don't even remember what it's for. Next.
So many Star Wars ship names, so it's impressive if you can remember even half of them.
I have the code here, so I don't have to remember it. I was like, you go look on the Google Doc. You can find it there. Next is a Starhawk. This is from Squadrons and a couple books and comics. I don't remember who the pilot was, but it was an admiral or something. And this is the backdrop, or the vignette part of it is from like a planet where they had the secret project going. So next to that's a am I going to get this wrong? This is a V-19 Torrent. And this one's a little finicky, and I'll kind of show you here because it does actually land, but it's very not stable. So it's got a little clip back here that it should clip into a little bit to hold it, and then the wings will fold up. So it's landing, whatever, and I'm not going to even try to put it back together now. So it'll sit there like this. Some of the clips on these are a little old. They're a different color. They don't hold real well, so I get plastic bags from the sets and kind of wedge them in things to make it a little more stable. And then next to it here, we've got Crosshair and an Imperial attack shuttle, kind of mirroring the Republic attack shuttle up here. Random planets that they're on, don't have any idea what those were. Next to that's an Umbaran starfighter on Umbara, which is kind of a dark, weird little spooky planet. I tried to make it, So
very different looking with the tan and just the shape of the ship.
And the ship itself is very curved and very elegant looking, and it was really hard to do at that size. This is another older one that I could probably go back and get some like curved slopes or something to kind of clean it up. And that's also, I think the helmet's a different helmet from what you normally get with an Umbaran pilot. And I want to put that on the Umbaran, the impeding tank, which I don't have a second figure for, but this is the same, the same planet, the same weird kind of centipede-looking tank that's in the Clone Wars episode. That was a lot of fun. Then Sandspeeder, which is an actual Lego set, but it was that Legacy of the Force or Epic of the Force or something like that from the late 80s, where Kenner was like, no, we need to keep making toys without movies. So there was this. There was an AT-IC, which is like an AT-AT with a ion cannon on the back that they never made, but this actually got turned into a Lego set. Let's see, there's a TIE shuttle with Admiral Wolf Yularen. That's probably a good size for a TIE bomber, but if you compare it to the TIE bomber I have, which is huge, because, the TIE fighters come with this kind of section right here. So you have two fuselages, it just makes it really huge. The funny part about this little bit is that this is 200 pieces. The actual TIE Bomber Lego set is 201 pieces. So it's not really a microfighter at this point. It's almost an actual set. Let's see. Then we've got a Star Scavenger from the Freemaker Chronicles. And then next to that is Bosk and his Houndstooth. And then a light Imperial light cruiser or Arquitens cruiser. And then skipping over the shuttle, we've got a Corvus, and this is from the single-player version of Battlefront 2. So that's got, what's her name? Oh, I can't remember the character's name now.
Somebody pointing out in the comments.
Yeah, somebody hit me up with that. So here's the video game row right here. So we've got Corvus, we've got the Rogue Shadow, and the Stinger Mantis. Stinger Mantis over there. It's very cool. So these are ones that I really wish Lego would actually make. I think they're great. Oh, well, there's actually another one back there, too, the Moldy Crow. So that's another video game one. They did give us a battle pack with Inferno Squad. So that was, I think, as close as we really got. And then there was the Republic Strike, whatever. That's kind of old Republic, so that's a lot of fun. This is one of my favorite designs because it's got the click hinge, so it can actually fold up and land. So landing configuration, kind of like you see over there. That took me a while to figure out. Woo! Again, these are very fragile. So that was a lot of fun to do. This next one, the Jango Fett, is basically just a Slave One, just recolored. But that is the Balaclava Jango. I probably shouldn't have it out here because I'd be surprised if it made it through the end of the con without being swiped. Somebody offered like a newer version, so I could just put it in there. Let's see. This is GR75. It's another early one. This was one of the first times I was able to figure out how to do convert 3-wide to 4-wide, but it's pretty loose. There's a lot of those in a lot of these models where I'm trying to make it So you can get a pilot in a 3-wide somehow, so there's a lot of jumper plates going on. This is probably the most obscure one I've got, an I-7 Howl Runner. I think you only see this in like a Dark Empire comic book. They're mentioned a little bit in some other stuff, but I hid that one around in the scavenger hunt and nobody figured out what that one was. I'm like, I'd be surprised if anybody named that one. Let's see, Republic V-Wing Fighter. You can also change that color up to be an Imperial version. The Republic Frigate. There was, if I could remember the builder's name, there was somebody who did a Tana V4, sort of the same style, so I just adapted it, very Corellian design. And then we've got a Darth Vader's TIE Advance, which is different from the store-bought. They had a TIE Advance from Rebels, I think, that had different wing configuration. Excuse me. So this is just extending the wings a little bit back. The Lucre Hulk again, the TIE Bomber, and then this is, now I can't remember. Is it a TIE Reaper or a TIE Striker? It's one of the two. It's the bigger, heavier one that the Death Troopers come down. And this has got a little Scarif scene. So there's the radar tower, the Imperial repository on Scarif. Oh, that's where that back part went.
Easy for little bits to come off.
Oh, yeah. I mean, welcome to a LEGO convention where you're rebuilding as you're going. Let's see. Next is the Profundity, which is just a Mon Cal cruiser. And then next to it is the Radis, another Mon Cal cruiser with General Leia. They both have little fleets and ships on them and stuff. And then Resurgent class Star Destroyer with, it's kind of above Jakku, little AT-AT ruins and whatever. And then a Mandator class. The central dish bit was a little hard to figure out how to inset it and keep the thing very thin because that's that really super flat dreadnought ship. And then next to that's one I'm really surprised LEGO didn't actually build was the Lambda class shuttle. It seemed like kind of an iconic ship and really wasn't done. So I was like, we really need to have this one done. So let's see, Imperial Imperial Patrol Craft. That's one of my favorites because it's very small and delicate. Some fun part usage in that one. Let's see, next to that's Dengar and his Punishing One. Never seen that ship. I had to look that up. I'm like, does Dengar have a ship? I'm sure he does, but let's see. Moldy Crow again, and then the Fireball, which is another, like, Star Wars Resistance just begged to have ships built of it. It was a show about ships. And racers and fighters and stuff. So I'm really shocked that we got 2 out of like 6. So had to turn that one into it. Right next to it's another one from the same show, the TIE Baron with, or Von Reg's TIE Fighter, whatever you like. Next to that's the Twilight. That's got some wing folding action with Anakin. And then the Eclipse Dreadnought with whatever version of Palpatine you want to put in there. And I think that's a random planet called, now I'm going to get this wrong. It's not Vardos, but it's an Imperial Legends era planet where, like, I think Palpatine was from, or was like an old Empire planet, something like that, so I put it up there. And then the ITS transport from Galaxy's Edge. I think that's the only time you see that other than the actual set. And it's kind of grounded. It really hasn't seen anything other than the theme park. But it was a lot of fun to build. The actual LEGO set's a lot of fun to build. If you haven't got it, go grab it. Z95 Headhunter. Excuse me, sorry. And then the Eclipse Fighter. I think that's a Freemaker one as well. And then a T6 Jedi Shuttle. And this one's got some fun. It's got the rotating, just like the set. So this is one of the more expensive figures I've got too. So this becomes like, again, like a display of expensive minifigures. This is a good way to do it, other than just kind of maybe in a case on a base plate or something like that. It's kind of fun. So this is one of my favorites. Hondo and his pirate tank, and I just like Hondo because he's got a great voice. Let's see, this was a relatively new one, the N1 Starfighter. I think I built this about a half hour after the episode came out where he got it in the show, and I was like, all right, race to see who gets this one done first. And within an hour, images all over Instagram of people designing it. It was a lot of fun. Fennec Shan's unnamed ship. It's a really cool ship, but it was hard to find images for, and it doesn't have a name, so it's just, Fennec Shan's ship. This is the ARC prototype ATST from Rebels. So it's a little weird. It's kind of like the same ATST over here, which is another one I'm surprised LEGO didn't do. We've got a Walker from Rebels, and then a ATDP, I think, or ATAP. I get the acronyms mixed up sometimes. But yeah, the Walkers are a lot of fun because you can kind of pattern them after the existing one and just adapt like the canopy or the headpiece or whatever. Another early one, the Geonosian Starfighter, and then a Sentinel class landing craft, which is similar to the Lambda class. I just kind of extended the front out a little bit. This one's a lot of fun. The Gozanti cruiser. I got some Nano AT-AT and TIE fighters on here. It's a little big. It was about that big originally, so I shortened it because it was a little too long. There's an unofficial style to Microfighters where it has to be about 100 pieces and then maybe 8 by 8, long and wide kind of thing. And some of these are obviously a little longer and bigger than the others, but you try to keep it a certain piece count and you're golden. Next to that's the Mobcat class, the M68, something like that, the solo speeder from the movie. That was another early one that was a lot of fun to put together. That was also one of the first ones to get like a little vignette stand on it because I was like, this needs to be on something. It looks it's cute, but it's a little boring by itself, so let's put it on something. The most finicky one in terms of stands is the quad jumper because it doesn't have anything to attach to, so I have to be very careful. It's just sitting on a slope or a roof tile, just balanced. But that's a really good like Microfighter size. It's you fit in the palm of your hand. It's just a few pieces. I really like the Microfighter genre overall. It reminds me of like why we built Lego in the first place. It's quick, it's fun. You can tear it apart. You can do a new thing with it really easily. It's great for kids because if little kids with attention spans, it's like we can get this built in like 20 minutes. Let's do it. So it's really brings out creativity, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. Resistance bomber, that's relatively new. I had to redesign it because it was really bulky and ugly looking. And then that's got a weird little stand on it. It's different from the others, but I still like it. Imperial Cargo Transport or Assault Transport, something like that from Mandalorian. And next to that, there's the Imperial Troop Transport and the Trexler Marauder. I'm pretty sure that's the name of it. But those were a lot of fun, and it's just slight changes in coloring. You can kind of rebuild it however you want. And then the three in the center, we've got the Razor Crest, which I feel there are 2 or 3 of us that do really good Microfighter designs. Shout out to Trending Brick and Query Designs. They're doing some really good stuff. And I feel like our Razor Crests are really good compared to the actual sets, but, whatever. And then another one next to that, the Republic Y-Wing, another one I think LEGO probably could have done. It's really basic. They do have 2 Y-Wings. I just don't know why they never did this one. And then a B-Wing, and it's got the rotational cockpit and the folding wings. That was a lot of fun, but it's a little finicky, so it was hard. Oh, this one's a good one because in the middle it's got a newish 1x1 plate with the bars on either side that came in the VW bus. And so before I had that piece, it was a little bulkier and thicker. And so having that piece really helped me like trim it down so it was that blade wing look. So that was really nice to get. And then finally, there's the non-Star Wars versions. I've got a lot of these designed. I've got like Batmobiles and like the A-Team van and a lot of spaceships from weird sci-fi properties. So we've got the Benatar, the Milano. And then the Red Dwarf, which I had to get a special figure from Minifigs Me in the UK. So that's David Lester. It's a perfect figure. It was really great. And then my personal favorite, the Gunstar, which is just a Kit Bash figure of Alex Rogan. That one's got a little bit of plastic holding some of the studs together because they rotate a little bit, so it's not super swooshable, but I still think it looks great. And then the Enterprise with Kirk, and I think that was another Minifigs Me or an Etsy purchase for the figure because I tried to Kit Bash it, but you really need the the Starfleet emblem. You can't just like put a star on it or something like that and have it look good. So, and then finally the Orville, and that figure was donated by Snot OK. Shout out Michaela, she's another they're another volunteer here helping us out. So she gave me that figure a couple days ago. That was really great. Yeah, so that's them.
Amazing work here. Thank you for taking us through everything. Great job. I know you've got a ton on display here. So you mentioned that there are even more that you're hoping to do in the future. Do you post these online, or where can people kind of keep up with your work?
So if you look up Ben's Brick Designs anywhere, I'm on YouTube, Insta, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, all kinds of stuff. So that's where you can find me.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for taking us through everything. Keep up the great work.
I appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
Hey everyone, Joshua Hanlon here at Brick Rodeo 2022 in Austin, Texas. And I'm here with Ben, and he's going to tell us about the Brick Rodeo sign. So we're here in the lobby of the fantastic Renaissance Hotel where Brick Rodeo takes place. And obviously you've got to get the public interested and come into the show and get them excited. So this sign is out here where people can see it and they can get excited coming into the show.
That's right. We've got some donated brick from the Lego company, actually, to as a token of appreciation for the lugs. And these are the original colors plus green. So we thought it'd be a good idea for the lug to get together, and each member, or we got individual members of the lug to build letters. So everybody kind of took some brick home on their own, built a letter each. We brought them back together today, and this is the result. And it's been very positive.
Perfect. Let's take a closer look at some of the letters here. So obviously with a lot of Lego lettering, the shaping can be difficult, and you got kind of all the different colors blended in there. So talk about kind of how you achieved that.
So the colors themselves were not too much of a problem. We tried to pattern it after the Lego logo, but that lettering is a little hard to get to. So it's the same on the back side as it is the front side, and that was kind of a failing of mine not to, shore it up a little bit more in the back. But I mean, it was pretty easy to follow that pattern.
Okay, we'll take a look at the back then here, and does it look pretty much exactly the same on the back?
Yeah, it's the same on the back as it is the front, so you could turn around and have it face the same way and just read backwards.
Yeah, that is absolutely fantastic here. So it's back. Whoops! Whoa! These giant brick badges they made for the show caught on it.
Okay, wow.
Can you rebuild?
Yes, we've actually got 3 of these in the back, so we should be okay.
Oh, that's good to hear.
But we'll take this home and donate it to the rest of the lug.
I mean, the K is still together.
We've got the K. That's a great start as a knockout for this build. Oh my goodness.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.